Hello. Your name's a bit small on the screen. I have failed to bring up chat. Oh no. Give me a second. There may be a few unpleasant sounds and echoings for half a second. Oh, Skellybo! How's it going? This. Do not play sounds. Pop out chat. You go over here. And then exit. How's it going? So I did a recording for my Twitch channel just to let everyone know that I'm no longer on Twitch on YouTube, and I watched it back and I realized that the sound volumes I thought were okay weren't, my background sounds was a little too high. A little disappointed that no one told me about that, but understandable. Apparently I really should have checked that out beforehand. So I'm gonna try and keep that in mind and make sure my background sounds are properly leveled. If you have an issue with my background sounds, like say the music currently playing, please let me know. If it's too loud, I could definitely turn it down. If it's too quiet, I could definitely turn it up. Publish. Yes. Okay, now we make that. Add to rerun queue. Yeah, you know what? We'll rerun it. Collections. How do I set a video as... So it was scheduled to start at 10:30. I'm gonna take all the time I need because I'm currently trying to do a thing. I don't know how to go to VOD page. Okay. Do not play, do not play, do not play. You are playing, stop playing. There we go. 480p, is that it? No, I got 1080, okay. Oh, set up channel trailer, that's the button I'm looking for. Select Bendele plus we go to view from your library. Only videos under 30 seconds may be selected. Well, fudge. I guess everyone's just gonna have to look below and see where is that video. I might have to do this later. But anyways, the game of the week, the winner at the moment is VR Chat, last I checked. Yeah, VR Chat, by a landslide, doubled the votes of everything else. Check that out. Now today has been actually a very poor job at planning. I'll be reading stories that I've written in the past, and some, maybe some ghost stories, if you guys prefer. If you have a preference, please tell me. I know, when you look at that. When you look at that time. Sounds like it's time for spookies, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like it's time? A very spooky time. This evening we have a collection of very many written stories from myself and from various entities from beyond the void of Reddit. You have an option to choose, but it seems that, oh wait, sorry, hello there, General Kenobi. I failed in that regard, my apologies. We have a collection of stories from the many gifts of Tih'tulkd you could choose if you like. Although I think this evening I may be starting with a little bit of Reddit. Stories we have available is Drown All That I Love, What the Mirror Peers Into, Finding of Glenzanza, A Ghost Story, Message from the Stars, They Who Peer Too Deep, and How Vampires Are Made. All of these stories fit well within my universe and sort of give them structure. That is what we are looking at within this universe. These stories, that is. I can't find Reddit worth a darn. I think there we go. Just type in Reddit in the search bar. Way easier. You know I haven't done in a while? SCP. Here, contain tech. SSCP. SPCP? Okay, SCP. There you go. Let's see if there's anything fun. I'm a little bit, what one would say, rusty on these SCPs, but let's have a look. Hand milk. That sounds unpleasant. Okay, looks like we do have a story that I kind of want to read. This one seems interesting. Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. There we go. Oh man, you had a name. It is SCP-3138. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Foundation personnel embedded in literal and academic circles are to be briefed on SCP-3138. They are to report any fictional works discovered by to deviate from its canonical number of human corpses. A Foundation operated bot, I.O. Bendele, is to monitor websites and online communities centered on discussing of printed media. Discussions regarding books that describe more human corpses than previously experienced are to be flagged for review. Upon discovery, any printed works of fictional suspected of being affected by SCP-3138 is to be removed and reviewed by MTF RHO-1, the Pressure, as they're known. Should it prove feasible, all non-canonical corpses are to be extracted, examined, and catalogued. Otherwise, affected works are to be kept on site in a secure locker. Access is restricted to Level 4 personnel. Description: SCP-3138 is a phenomenon involving an insertion of human corpse into a printed work of published fiction. The work must convey a narrative capital of capable of organizingly describing the person of a human corpse. Inserted human corpse will be depicted in a manner suited to the work. For example, a corpse inserted into a poem relying upon a particular rhyming scheme were described via this rhyming scheme. extraction of inserted corpse can be accomplished by destroying the work or entity, or editing it to remove the depiction of the corpse. Should this occur, all erased corpse will immediately emerge from the text in question. Notably, corpses that emerge during these events are non-abnormalous and show signs of decay, reminiscent of existed submissions in the acidic environment. Ooh. The method by which SCP-3138 is accomplished has yet to be determined. We have several recovery logs. Here's hoping they're well readable. Discovery date 16/03/1942. Subject a 1921 paperback edition of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Bless your soul and body. No, answered Wemmick, very drily, but he accused of it. So might you or I be. Either of us might be accused of it, you know. Only neither of us is, I remarked. Yeah, said Wemmick, touching me on the breast with his forefinger. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? You're a deep one, Mr. Pip. Would you like to... Okay, you know, we're not reading this. We're not reading this. No, I'll read the bottom one. Notes. Of the 3 recovered corpses, only one could positively identify F.O.G and accounted with known ties to Henry Earl J. Wojciechowski. I just offended an entire culture of people, and they don't know why they're offended, but they feel the disturbance in the force. An autopsy concluded that all 3 corpses died as a result of pulmonary aspiration. I'm gonna Google that. What does that mean? Is it entity of materials such as drink? Okay. So is basically when you choke on something to death. Okay. Recovery logs. This is another one, and I'm afraid after reading the last one, but it says, note of the 6 recovered corpses, only 4 could be positively identified. All were known associates of Alfonso Gabriel Capone. An autopsy concluded that all 6 corpses died as a result of pulmonary aspiration. And more things I'm not going to read. Although the recovery of a corpse could not be conclusively identified, it was determined to be that of an adolescent female. Oh. In 1932, a missing persons report was filed with the Chicago Police Department for Beverly Queen, a 17-year-old female living with Rachel Campbell. An autopsy concluded that the corpse died of pulmonary aspiration. Co-founder of Chicago Spirit, an anonymous criminal organization activated in Chicago during the Oh, I see. Hold on. Criminal organization. Who's aka Haim Wesley, a notorious mob boss active in Chicago during the 1920s. And Chicago during the 1920s. Okay, so apparently Chicago has a crime organization that had a evil entity that sealed away people in books and murdered them. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. So that was SCP-3138 with some questionable books that I couldn't really feel well reading on stream, but a spooky story nonetheless. I like this one. Now we've been moving on to some sort of Reddit story. I'd like to take this moment to ask if you are there, please let me know. I currently have one marshmallow. That's Skelly Bro! I love that marshmallow, but you know, let's have a head count. And I've got to see if I can't drink something. I'm out of hydration. And yeah, it looks like nothing's changing in the voting. So XD, TJ Loser, and one other person, they won VR Chat. So I'm going to be playing VR Chat for a week. Or the days marked as Game of the Week. Banana Bro! Scully Bro! You also voted for VR Chat. Yeah, you guys just want to see me play VR Chat. Pretty happy with that. I think for Ben Pick of the Week, I might go with Orbis VR. I was thinking if you've seen Orbis VR. And Ben, hey Cheating Death, how's it going? I might try that. Well, this is a suitably small story. Okay. This is called Here's Another Encounter That Freaked Me the Heck Out by Foxy Girl Plays. Please don't judge me. My family and I were on our way to Gittlenberg, TN, and it was too dark that we could barely see. That's a weird way to write things. It was so dark that we could barely see. Everything was normal. My mom and my sister asleep, and my dad and I were getting out. Until all of our phones started glitching. My dad and I were the only ones who saw this happen, and I decided to look around for a reason why our phones might be glitching. While I was looking around with my flashlight and my Sony brand camera, totally not sponsored, ready in case I found my next Reddit story, at the corner of my eye, I take a picture and look at what I see the picture of. I screamed and then curled up in a little ball and have a panic attack. My mom woke up and my dad looks at me. I show them the picture. My dad speeds his car. Then our phones stop glitching. I looked on the safari for what the white man might have been then. After reading this, it sometimes seems as if he is capable of possessing his targets. In some cases, Slenderman more appearance provokes fear. Something happened to me. Okay, so some of this was nonsensical, but I think this was a Slenderman encounter. Okay. As you can see, I've decided to go for the organic feel of the first read of the story. Because I'm lazy. So we're going to be moving on to Haunted Christmas Tree by Who If Not Me 1969. Holy heck, that person's old. So this happened when I was a kid, December 1980. I was at a neighborhood apartment with my sister. I remember we were watching the Sugar Ray Leonard, Robert Durnar, No Mass fight. I'm guessing it must have been a recast of the fight because the fight actually happened on November 25th, 1980, and we were watching it in December. There were 3 of us in the room. Me, 10 years old, my younger sister, 8 years old, and our neighbor. I think she was a couple of years older than me. Our moms were hanging out at the apartment 2 doors down. So we are sitting on the couch watching, which faces the window. TV's to our right. There's a Christmas tree of our window, probably 10 feet from the couch. I remember looking at the Christmas tree and seeing an ornament jiggle. I asked the girl if they saw it, and they said no. I said the ornament moved. They didn't believe me. So I got up, walked over to the tree, and as I walked over, I saw the ornament jiggle again. When I was about 2 feet from it, the ornament popped off the tree, hit me square in the chest, and I fell to the ground. Funny thing was that I wasn't scared. I asked the girl if they saw it. Of course they didn't. They were directly behind me. They didn't believe me either. I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, there's some exact dates that make me think that this is planned and rehearsed, but the fact that nothing too scary happened makes me think that this might not have been planned and rehearsed. Interesting. Seeing Black Shadows. What other colors do you expect them to be? This is Seeing Black Shadows by Dala Drapa. Interesting name. It started when I was a child. Not sure how old I was, but every night I would see a tall shadow. Only at night. One night my dad went out to smoke a cigarette, and I woke up. In my door, a shadow was standing there, and it had short hair. I thought it was my mom. I called out to it. I kept saying, "Mom." It didn't move at the time. It didn't move. At the time I would sleep with my sister. I tried to wake her. She didn't move. I started to get up to go to the shadow, but I was too scared. I went back to bed. As I got older, me and my sister got bunk beds. Every night I would wake up, and the shadow would be standing right there, on the side of my bed, literally in my face. It was the scariest thing, but this one didn't have any hair. It was just tall and dark. That's when I started becoming scared of the dark. Time passed and I stopped seeing him, but now that I'm older, I have sleep paralysis. I will see things at night. And last night, I seen something, but it looked just like one of my guy best friends. But when I woke up, I was very dizzy and felt drunk. I couldn't move or talk, and when I first seen it, I thought it was my dad checking up on me because I looked in my room. So I was like wherever I just went to sleep, and that I woke up and it was in my door, dancing. Thinking it was my friend. In my head I kept saying, "What are you doing? Leave before we both get in trouble." But I couldn't speak. I looked away and it left. I figured to go to the restroom. When I looked again, it was back standing at the door. Then I realized it wasn't actually my friend. I never seen anything like this before. And I wanted to know more why I see my friend when I was there. I'm used to seeing monsters. Okay. I think I had a stroke reading that. Oh my gosh. the let's move on to one of my books. Let's move on to something I wrote. That was oh look, somebody voted for Space Pirate Trainer. Okay, now that's one vote away from winning. Aki has actually just Pixie on another phone since we can't have Discord anymore. Ah, I'm gonna give Aki a better rank than scrub that I just got here. Okay, I can't do that right now. That's okay. Yeah. I'll be reading a story. I have to figure out which exact story I want, but let's have a look. I really wanted a good ghost story, but I don't think my ghost story is a good ghost story. I think it's a bit poop. And these ghost stories seem to be written by people not well versed in writing things to be read in this fashion. They seem to be more versed in the type of writing that is best for peer-to-peer communications. Ah, wait. So my trombone band director, who works at Springtown ISD, he was playing with his class at Odysseia. He turned into the metronome. He turned on the metronome, but the BPM turned up when they were playing. They eventually stopped when it turned up to 200 BPM. Looked at the dial. Wasn't even moving. His keyboard uses a dial like an old telephone. He eventually stopped the metronome and it never happened again. It still spooks me. Wait, his keyboard uses a dial like an old telephone. That doesn't make sense to me. This sounds like a broken metronome. Don't know if that's too spooky. Okay, yep, we're done with Reddit. Oh, this one! You guys might appreciate this one. I apparently did not refresh the... There we go. So, a week ago, one of my cats chewed through my, headphones cord. And I decided to write a story that day. And this is what came out of it. Please forgive me. Those horrid beasts of furs and claws, from the many gifts of Tih'tulkd by H.J. Bendele. Never keep a cat. They are mean, smelly, and leave their mark everywhere. But most importantly, they are our enemies. Their eyes that can see into the floors of space that we hide in, the claws that can rip into us, and their love of our food. They starve us, keep us from eating what is rightfully our food. You see, cats, all cats, from the smallest house cats to the proudest lioness, is the mark of the one who sealed away our masters. And took so much of our power away. That one that sealed away our masters still watches over their marks and acting on those horrid cats is to act upon that one. To call down our own faith that no other but that one and ourselves are to blame for. And those cats know this, and they use this. We've been hungry for so long, as he marked upon the land of this world has spread to most homes. And the prey we hunger for move closer and closer. It is no longer enough that one does not keep a cat. Now we must worry about whether or not the home next to our prey has one. Those unwelcomed creature. We can no longer hunt freely, seek our teeth into the nearest child as we please, watch as fathers and mothers cry in fear. Now that has stopped because of those horrible, despicable cats. Never keep one in your home. Let us eat freely again. We want to feast upon you. Please let us fill our hunger with your children and love. Let us feast once again. End our pain. Yep, and that's my newest story. I really like that reading. I think I did a good job there. Let's see. Another one is How Vampires Are Made. Not the proudest of that. Let's see. I think my favorite might be The Finding of Glenzenzar. I don't know. They Who Peer Too Deep's pretty awesome. Yeah. Although I may get off. I'm kind of out of drink and my throat's getting a bit parched. Let's see. One more story. They Who Peered Too Deep. Finding of Glenzenzar. Which one would you rather? Are either of you up for texting, or are you busy just listening to my storytelling? Tell you what. I'll flip a coin. Heads, Glenzenzar. Tails, the other one. It's tails, okay. Not Glenzenzar. They Who Peer Too Deep. Lovely, lovely. They Who Peer Too Deep. From The Many Gifts of Tih'tulkd by H.J. Bendele. They say it is me who is wrong, but I know who is wrong. The whole world is wrong. They believe lies, talk about how they know they are in control of their thoughts, that no entity speaks for them. I know the truth. I know that there is something that speaks into the mind of others. It hides behind a veil of space in a pocket of reality that I intend to breach. I don't know how I know this. I just do. And I know it is true. I moved to a home built on an old religious site of a long-gone native society, the Tih'tulkd tribe, as they were called. Where the land was settled, that tribe was quickly wiped out due to their ritualistic sacrifice, which left any watcher speechless and near mad in fear. And any person sacrificed was gone with no remains left, no idea where they were. The elders of the tribe said that the sacrifices were not dead, just in the temple that none could see. And the meat and grain sacrificed were for the sake of that temple. Those who did not stop the settlers from those words do not stop the settlers from burning them all at the stake. But I believe the elders were telling the truth. I believe the ritual allowed people to enter a pocket of existence where there was a temple. There were no surviving records of what the temple looked like, or the name of the god it was built to. Just so that it was the god of madness or fear, with the records being vague about which one. The ritual required lanterns with lenses made of very specific ways, an extremely specific chants in specific tones. What the tones and lenses are lost to time. I have spent the last 3 years with lighting equipment and speakers trying to find the right tones, light waves, and pulses of each to peer into the hidden temple. As of late, I have seen success. I was starting to dial in the specific timing, tone, and light waves, beginning to see ripples in the air as much like a body of water being probed with a stick. After the initial success of ripples in the air, I got closer and closer to pulling back the curtains of space and realities. This find would be unignorable. All would know my name if I got the word out. One day, I did it. I pulled back the curtains using a specific collection of tones and lights. The tones were largely deep and bassy, with a few being of normal speaking tones, but most being of throat singing tones. The lights were slowly shifted and blinked. I felt like I was clicking in the last digits of a safe that I did not know the combination for. Like a curtain being pulled up from the edges, the walls of this pocket universe, this pocket, pulled back, and I peered into the pocket of space and reality. That this temple was hidden. From my position, I could see it. I could see it. I could see the temple. It was a dark, gray ziggurat with a symbol at the peak, reaching high into the gray cloudy sky. I found myself walking towards the ziggurat, and before I knew it, I was passing the curtains. The ground was that of a large sand or small gravel, dark gray as well. Just like a ziggurat. There were deep divots or craters around where I stood. What I assumed was done by natural means. I looked behind. I looked behind to my home only to see the first horror. It was larger than any building I knew of. So unfathomable in size. It had 8 legs, a spider-like body, and a neck made of exposed spine that wound around like a snake. And on the end was a rotten corpse of a face. It was so large that the higher parts were being obscured by a cloud. 4 of its legs were raised, ready to strike, and I cowered and swore myself, preparing for it to strike. I cowered for longer than I like to admit, before I realized that it was not moving. Upon longer inspection, I realized it was likely a statue. But I also noted that the craters where I stood, like the statue strike there many times at this location. Ideas started rolling around my head. Robotics. The idea that this statue could come to life, or online, at any moment. Something felt forbidden about this statue. Like I was not to look at it. As if I was setting my eyes on the image of a god. I looked to the ziggurat, and curiosity got to me. There's a small hike, maybe 5 minutes up, to the foot of the ziggurat. There was an entrance at the foot of the ziggurat, with a square doorway that had a symbol of an eye with legs of a spider. Where the whites of the eye would be, there was bright red. There was no door, just an open hallway. And under all my immeasurable fear, I was still drawn to explore. The entry hallway led me to a large, open room, likely the entire opening of the cavity of the ziggurat. There were tables with glass tops and archways that led to nowhere and odd chairs. There were 2 archways that led to somewhere, but much like the veil of this pocket of existence, the archways did not go down a hallway. It was set a foot away from the wall on its own. I explored the first archway, diving into the white sandy desert. It was not hot or cold, but mildly warm. The sand was dry as well as the air. The sky was more gray with lightning and thunder rolling in with no rain to follow. Pillars of white stood jagged at the angles, some being curved and others being straight. Many of the pillars were missing chunks. There was this buzzing, gnawing sound that was driving me mad. I looked around and then I saw another horror. Something I prayed and hoped was another statue. The size of a small house. There laid a large, white, bony skull. That maddening, buzzing, gnawing sound that could be heard coming from inside. Chattering started, like that of some insect, and I started to see bug-like appendages in the eye sockets, as if something inside the skull had noticed my presence. Whatever it was must have been large enough to hurt me. I knew it would want to hurt me, as I knew what the white sand was made out of. Ground bones of some long lost giant monster. I ran faster than I ever could. As I did, in fact, wander away from the archway, I heard screeching behind me, like something was giving chase, and I ran even faster, as if the devil himself was chasing me. I found the archway and nearly made it untouched when I felt the tug on the back of my jacket. In full fear, I let the jacket rip, pushed through the archway, not knowing if I would be safe. I kept running, even when I made it back to the ziggurat, and found myself stumbling into another archway. The only other archway open. It was dark as night with a full moon. I was in a forest. The trees were so much like that of home, only darker and more haunting. I could see a light up ahead in some sort of structure. The soft singing of a woman. I felt drawn to the singing most of all. I began to walk down the wooded path. Every footstep felt slow, a direct contrast to the mad dash of fear from a few seconds ago. One footstep after another, slowly, step, until my foot could not move anymore. It was like my foot was trapped on a branch or twig. I looked down to find what held my foot in place and maybe move it free. Only to find a hand was gripping it. The hand was made of pure bark and wood. On the ground I saw more fingers rise, more hands. They were grasping for me, wanting to pull me deep underground. I managed to break free from the hand gripping me with pure force and made a run for the archway again. I could hear the rush of the hands breaking through the grounds, chasing me. I was fully mad with fear, insane and unreasonable. I made a ziggurat and didn't stop running. I ran back to where I came, rushing past the entry, trying to get home again. The curtain was fading, and I knew if I did not leave now, I would be trapped here. Those buzzing creatures and hands that grasp. I made a run for it. Most of me got through the curtain. Most, except for my left leg. Now I guarded this land, and I would die before I let anyone ever try what I did. Thank you for everyone who joined me today. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for showing up, Skelly Boy. Thank you very much for showing up, Cheating Death. It really is sad to me that these days are not as popular as the other days. You know, give me time. One day everything I do will be popular. Maybe? Maybe. Please keep in mind for any newcomers that we are going for the goal of 100 subscribers to release a story of my creations as a choose your own adventure. Thank you very much for joining me today. Please give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you all tonight for more stories. Goodbye.